Hi, I'm Sam. I'm 34. This is about trying to deal with things and caring for somebody who's terminally ill with cancer. My mum passed away on 22nd of December 2015. Unfortunately, 2013, she was diagnosed with cancer. Beginning of 2014, they'd done some tests and they realised that this cancer wasn't going. Mum was diagnosed terminally ill. Over the period from the moment I was told about Mum's cancer, I changed. I was dealing with it okay until I found that she was terminally ill. I then become a textaholic, argumentative, just a damn right horrible person. Some people did start noticing it, and unfortunately at the time, the guy I was with, he couldn't cope with me. The thing was, I didn't know what to do, where to go, or even how to get help. I kind of suffered. So 2015, I went to try and be myself. I tried looking after Mum. I tried being just me. I tried going to work. And it got to the point where even trying to date was actually impossible. Trying to work was getting harder. Trying to look after Mum, as much as I love my mum, it was hard. It was so hard. I had half the world on my shoulders, and the thing was, I was almost cracking up under the pressure, but trying to say I was okay. I now have found since then, a lot of people go, oh, it's depression. Actually, there is a grieving process which you go through whilst you're terminally ill parent or brother or sister or whoever it is you're very close to. Basically, you grieve whilst they're alive. And I didn't even know this existed. My doctors tried putting me on happy pills. I just wasn't myself. It's hard, especially if you're like me with no brothers or sisters. And my dad unfortunately passed away 10 years ago with cancer. So cancer's quite high in my family, which is quite scary. But every year I do 3 things for charity. I do a sponsored walk for the Eleanor Hospice. I do my Race for Life, and I do the Macmillan Coffee Morning. Because I don't want anyone to ever be in this position of where they're by themselves, trying to work, trying to date, and trying to do everything. If you're not in a relationship, I suggest you don't try dating whilst looking after somebody. My biggest mistake ever. I couldn't do it, and I thought I could. I'd suddenly become somebody I wasn't. Due to the grieving process, it's the symptoms are very similar to depression, but they're not. When my mum passed, 3 days before Christmas, I actually felt half of me was missing, but a massive relief as well. Watching somebody you love go through cancer, going from a size 16 down to a size 4 within so many months is the most hardest thing you can ever watch. Mum and I used to always go out. We used to do quite a bit of stuff together. And, now it's been sort of just over 5 weeks. I'm rebuilding my life again. Bit strange because obviously half of me is kind of missing, but I'm kind of now quite excited about 2016. But if you are in the position where you think, oh, how can you suddenly be really happy, and you can't, it's taking time. But whilst your terminally ill parent is not well, you grieve. So when you come out the other side, it's not actually as heartbreaking because you've actually done your grieving process. Now, I didn't know this existed, and I actually looked more into it. I spoke to the Eleanor nurses, and that's what we do if we're caring for somebody. But unfortunately, most of the aspect of your life will kind of not be so great, like going out. You won't be able to do that. But make sure you always make a bit of time for yourself, even if it's to grab a Costa coffee. Because I didn't realise that you needed time. And I found that the more time I spent at home with Mum, the more obnoxious and horrible I was becoming, because the whole house was just cancer. You had leaflets in the dining room. You had leaflets on the side. You had medical bags and everything possible laying around, and tablets. And when you got home, or when you was at home, the house was just cancer. And I didn't realise until one day I stepped out. I felt a bit of relief that I wasn't actually in a house where everything has cancer written everywhere or stuck around the house. So please make sure you make time for yourself. If it sounds like I'm not really crying, it's because unfortunately I've done most of my grieving. It's taken me a little bit longer, but I'll be going back to work, and my life will carry on. Just minus Mum. And I'm not saying this is easy. In fact, I'm not even saying you're going to get over this ever. But you just have to be strong. Unfortunately, last year I fell to pieces and I was a complete nightmare. And obviously I've done a couple of things that ashamed of, really, which is so out of character. And then when we sat talking to the nurses, apparently it's very much pretty normal. Although for me it's not normal. So 2016 is my time to try and rebuild my life. And don't ever feel pressured into throwing out anything like clothing or bits which remind you of your mum or your dad or your brother or your sister. Unlike me, where everyone felt actually just getting on with your life is easy. Okay, it's taken a little bit of time, and I'm actually nearly there. Yeah, I just got to make the step back to work. But don't feel pressured, and don't ever think that you're on your own either. You have the Eleanor nurses who are fantastic. They're not just for the patients, they're actually for family. And even Macmillan, if you want to have a little chat, they're fantastic. Right on the end of the phone, brilliant. So, don't ever feel you're completely on your own. But yeah, I do suggest don't try on a date whilst looking after somebody, and I do suggest taking time out for yourself. And it's not selfish. Doesn't matter what anyone says or thinks. It isn't selfish. I always thought it was. But obviously, make sure you're in the right frame of mind. There's nothing worse than trying to date and your mind, like mine, was actually all over the shop, and I couldn't focus. I couldn't do a lot of stuff, actually. And secondly, make sure you go and get your Costa coffee. Or if you don't like Costa, go to Starbucks or even Coffee Republic. But, don't ever be hard on yourself. You're only human after all. And, just take one day at a time. Don't try running before you can walk. And, if you do find that things are really tough, stop, breathe, take time out for yourself. Because looking after somebody who's terminally ill actually drains you physically and mentally to the point you have actually nothing to give, sorry. And, people don't realise. But always keep your chin up, because somewhere people are going through this all the time. But it isn't easy, but you will get there. Thanks for listening.